Yo, you know this. 2001. You know. And beyond. Yo. Have a new style, what them call it. Full on jet. But me say the style name again now. Full on jet. Everything we do, we a give them. Full on jet. Give them. Full on jet. Give them. Full on jet. Well, if I'm a girl in...
Well, I really felt like I was on a bus going around the island there.
Welcome to episode 100 of the Caribbean Millennials podcast.
What a way to start episode 100, guys. What a way.
I guess we're going full 100 this episode.
Apparently.
Also, did that say 2001 in there?
That was yeah, bro.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wild, right? Crazy.
Not giving away our age, but we dance to this song.
You know what we should do for social media? Like this song was X years ago. This song was X years ago.
I agree. And I feel like it would really like blow some people's minds when they see like how old some of the songs, like, because I guarantee you there are people who probably still have those things on their playlist. Like they're still jamming out to them things like so.
Well, I feel like there's some of us who don't have them on our playlist.
I do have them on my playlist, so.
And we would love, like, if you got it on your playlist, you'd be like, damn, oh my God, it's a vibe.
Yo, let us know how you feel about the Caribbean Millennials curated playlist. Right? Like,
I already know they want it. I want it. I think we should do, each one of us do our playlists.
oh, my playlist could just be a kind of cartel, kind of gunman song. And
Yeah, that's why we have to do 3 separate playlists, because
kind of violent thing.
men gonna be all like lovers rock, emo, kind of groovy soca.
Remember the days? I got conscious.
I know that some Hyman conscious vibes, you know.
And what's the
Bundi ganja, you have.
Yeah.
diversity. That's why it's the three
Some
of
Bob.
us.
Some Bob. Oh, yeah. So guys, episode 100. We have done 100 episodes of this podcast. How do you all feel about it?
Full 100.
I'm proud of us.
Okay.
I'm proud of you guys. I'm happy.
Okay.
All the good adjectives.
So before we get into, the talk about episode 100, how was everyone's week? Adani, how was your week?
I have a grievance to officially file again against Prince William
And the Royals.
The Royals, the government of the United Kingdom, and any tabloids.
I'm with you on
this. Yeah.
I stand strong with my brother.
How can this white man with hair on his head be known as the sexiest bald man in the world?
Adani, you know what really pissed me off? The Rock came in at number 9.
At least let me lose to The Rock. At least let me, the coconut, lose to The Rock. But not Prince William. I demand a recount. Not even Vin Diesel.
Right? Okay,
like,
Adani.
Okay. Like, what's going on? What's going on?
Guys.
Morris Chestnut? Morris Chestnut? Come on.
Boris.
Adani, I stand with you on this, and we go to start a petition, okay?
I demand a recount.
Your dog demands a recount as well. I don't even want a recount. I want it to be disqualified altogether. He's not bald. He's bald.
Hello. He's not sexy.
Oh my God.
Okay. Let's talk about that part.
So I want to know, like, honestly,
exactly. So he lose on both counts.
Right?
He's not bald and he's not sexy. So, like, how did he win?
Missy, I'm going to be honest. The royal family pay for that. They pay somebody for that. They bought that title from it. Mid did not deserve that. That's my stance.
So nothing is new.
They keep getting away.
Yeah, it feels like they need some good publicity. So
yes.
How much will it cost to get Prince William at number 1 on Sexiest Bald Guy Alive?
Well,
and the tabloid was like, boy, that's going to be a tall order.
Well, I don't even think it's like good publicity. I think they just look for any publicity other than talking about Meghan and
well,
classic white people.
Well, Adani, we vote you sexiest bald guy on this podcast.
Hands down. Yeah. That's your title. Nobody can take that from you. Yeah.
Prince William looks nothing like a coconut. So just by that metric, you
win. Yeah. We go start a little petition, get enough signatures, and I read that and they're like The Rock at number 9. I'm like, wait, what? The Rock.
I know, right?
Dude.
I would be okay if The Rock, Maurice Chestnut, I could come in third.
Boris,
but
Cujo,
Prince William, Boris Cujo,
right?
I could come in fourth. But Prince William, come on, man. Come on. Man, not even the sexiest person in the building he live in. Come on. Or the ball less.
Certainly not. Anushka, your week. Talk to us. Wow. Okay. The week was like a couple of days ago,
Sorry, I was trying to forget it.
I don't think that's a good thing, but okay.
Already people just being people. I feel like Vernon's how you call it? Like the way people have been having an effect on you, it started happening to me.
People have been having an effect on me?
No, like, I always complain about your coworkers and that kind of thing and it agitate you. But
I wouldn't say they agitate me. The stupidity baffles me. No, the people are not dumb. I take that back. Their behavior, it really intrigues me because there's no rhyme or reason or logic to it. And a lot of it is centered around conversations and topics we have previously covered in team meetings, and then they still come back and ask questions about those things again. So then it's like, were you not at the meeting? Were you not paying attention? Or do you just not care? Or are you trying to ask a question to make yourself look smart?
Vernon, it's about how my week was.
Yes, but I was just explaining to you my
yes,
love hate with my coworker.
Yes,
I'm sorry, but yes,
that tried to take me down this week, but I fought back, just kind of keeping episode 100 and the positivity in mind, and in my heart, and
in your heart.
all of that good stuff. We also got appointments for vaccinations in this coming week. So
getting my superpowers next week.
That got me a little excited. Just kind of to have the security, I guess. I don't know if that's the appropriate word of being vaccinated.
Once again, it doesn't mean we'll be wilding out in the street, no mask and that kind of thing.
No, but at least you have some protection.
Yeah, it's more to protect me from the ones who want to wild out with no mask and whatnot.
And then I mean, hopefully that signs for a good fun summer too.
I hope so. Because at the rate it looks like everything is opening back up.
Mm-hmm.
We went for lunch with 12 of our friends yesterday. And bro, we saw people out like it was a regular Saturday before the pandemic.
Yeah, no
mask on, wilding out, social distance. Who?
Yeah,
so, regular pre-panny Saturday.
Adani, exactly like that. Like social distancing did not exist. They were just out there. It was scary. Pre-panini. Yeah. So
but how was yours?
My week was pretty chill. It was quiet, to be honest. I wasn't on call this week. We're doing the whole teams rotation because we're going 24/7 and whatnot. But other than that, it gave me some time to work on little projects I have at work and whatnot that I haven't really been able to make much progress on, and not because of me, but more because of the dynamic of we hire new people and having to train people and whatnot. It's been kind of slowing me down. So this week I kind of got a chance to kind of sit down and work on some stuff and send out some emails, have some conversations, that kind of stuff, and also sit down and kind of reassess my own career goals if my career goals, because in my mind, like I've never shared this with you. I think this week was the first time I actually shared this with you. Like I kind of have like a little, like a little 5-year plan for myself, right? For my career type thing, and it's not necessarily about like moving in like into a certain position or anything. It's more about like skills I want to acquire for myself in my career over the next 5 years. And I feel like it's skills that when I acquire, like it'll put me in a good spot to like, make big moves and that kind of thing. So, I sat down, assessed, why I was on those things.
Okay.
And, made some plans.
So on episode 100, you're talking about leveling up.
I working on that. I preparing myself for the level up and whatnot, constant work in progress. So and that was my week. Pretty chill otherwise.
All right, guys. So what are we talking about on episode 100?
Boy, we answering all the questions that people want to know about us and this podcast, I believe. So, Anushka, you have the questions, start hitting us with those questions. We answering questions and we letting people know what goes on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. So, how and why did we start a podcast?
I believe you should be the one to start giving that answer, because the way I remember it, this whole podcast thing was a culmination of events between starting with you, then with me, then going back to you, then Adani came in and really kicked it off. Because if I remember correctly, what it was you were working on, well, I guess I'll start it then. Yeah, you were working on stuff. You were working for the OECS. You were doing a little consultancy and whatnot. Well, I shouldn't say little because it was a big consultancy, can't minimize people, contributions and whatnot. You doing your consultancy and you had to record some voiceovers for something. I think you were trying to get some graphic or a little video made and you couldn't get someone to do the voiceover, so you decided you were going to do it yourself. And I remember we tried it with like my headset originally, but we were not happy with the sound. So I went online and I bought a microphone.
That's really 2016.
Yeah, that was 2016.
2015, 2016.
Yeah, 2015, 2016. Bought a really good microphone and I helped you record the stuff, recorded it, you got the stuff made. And then I packed the microphone back up in the box and the microphone just sat there. We never used it again. And I one day I thought to myself, I'm like, I should probably return that microphone. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll start a podcast with it. That's what I said to myself. I didn't say it to you because I thought like, I could probably start a podcast on my own and whatnot. But then I thought, I was like, who wants to sit there and hear me talk for like just me alone? So in my mind, I'm like, it'd be good for a podcast, but I just, I put it in the back of my head and whatnot. Then come 2017, you had this idea for Caribbean Millennials.
Yeah. And I guess let me pick it up there, right?
Yeah.
So I did that consultancy with the OECS working on creating a youth brand. And it was really around talking about youth issues in the Caribbean and, making a better Caribbean, right, for the younger people. And I would say in my career, that was one of the projects that I was really most passionate about, because while I was here in the States, I was able to work on things for the betterment of things back home in the Caribbean. And it really gave me a foundation, right, of all of the issues and struggles that existed not only on an island level individually, but across the region, right? That even if we see our island so differently, we're going through a lot of the same like problems essentially.
Yeah.
And that contract ended and I started working in corporate America again. And as I was working in corporate America, I very much enjoyed and still enjoy my job, but I felt like an element missing, that the work that I did previously with Caribbean people and just kind of having an outlet to be more creative was missing for me personally. I knew that I wanted to continue work kind of like that. And when I thought about what I did for that brand and what how I would do it if it wasn't for that brand is working for that company. I felt like I had to do it to kind of live within their kind of parameters, right? It had to be more professional, but that wasn't, if I had to do it on my own, it would be more authentic, like how we know, the kinds of conversations we'd actually have, how we'd actually have it, you know.
I get you.
So I, at the time, since I had that commute, I was driving and listening to podcasts, and there, as those ideas were kind of marinating for me, I was like looking for podcasts that were Caribbean or, at least something I wanted to listen to, and I couldn't find it. So that's when those two ideas kind of started to merge. And I came to Vernon and was like, I want to do this Caribbean Millennials thing. I even like had the brand and everything created back in 2017. Yeah. And I was thinking, well, it could be a blog, it could be a podcast, it could be all of these things.
Podcast, you came and you were like, oh, it could be a blog, like a news site type thing, and we write articles and
share stuff on social media, like
whatnot. And you're like, and then maybe it could evolve into a podcast and whatever. Mm-hmm. And for me, my whole thing was, and I'm not knocking it, maybe one day, hopefully one day soon, we can turn it into a whole blog, with all these written articles and whatnot. But my thing at the time was like, okay, but who's going to do all the writing? Because if you're talking about doing a blog, you need to be doing writing on a consistent basis and putting out articles, and then how are you going to cover stuff from different islands and whatnot? Because you can't be saying you're the Caribbean millennial and you're only writing stuff about St. Lucia and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And then my thing was like, how about this? How about we start for podcasts instead? Mm-hmm. And we just talk about stuff from the perspective of a Caribbean millennial, someone who grew up in the Caribbean and whatnot. And Anushka was like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. That might be a good starting point instead.
Yeah.
But then that was 2017. We had that conversation.
Yeah.
And we never got around to it.
And at first you were like, oh, you can do it. And I was like, me by myself. And they said, we can do it together. And I was on board with that, but I still had some apprehensions. I even had apprehensions of being held accountable, because there have been times Vernon and I work on stuff and I know how to shake Vernon off me. You know what I mean?
Very much. Homegirls knows how to dodge a Danny, no
dodge and weave. Duck and weave.
Bruh.
Yeah, if you I'm not an athlete, so I don't consider myself an athlete, but when it considers, dodging Vernon, I very much have some superpowers.
What?
But then I guess in 2017 also, kind of me backpedaling and resisting and doubting and all of that, I also said, well, babe, if we do a podcast, who we launching the podcast to? So that's why.
Yeah, then she started with all these doubts, who and when.
We don't even have an audience and that kind of thing.
So she was like, oh, I want to build up the following on these accounts before we can start it, and maybe collect email addresses and that kind of stuff. And was I don't know, I don't think you were actively trying to sabotage or put it off, but you thought you needed to do all those things
before
in preparation to start it.
Yeah.
And turns out all you needed was a Danny to come and visit. And next thing you know, you podcasted.
So then, Danny, your turn, right? So 2017, April, May-ish.
No, 2018.
Oh, 2018. Yeah. April, May-ish.
2017, I came for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
And we told you about the idea.
And 2017, I came, we did the Perfectly Polius video.
Yes. Right.
Then I came for Christmas again. We spoke about the idea some more. And then 2018, when I came for a few months, I think that was around April, May.
Yeah, because you were in the middle of moving.
Yeah.
And I was there for Anushka's birthday. Mm-hmm. And then soon after that, we were sitting down in the living room talking, and then why not just start? And then a laptop showed up, a mic showed up, And yeah, we just started doing stuff, started talking about the Caribbean millennials and what it meant. And then,
Like literally within that first hour, like I don't know, hour. Well, it must have been like 5 minutes or 15
like
minutes
in no
max.
time, my laptop was set up, the microphone was plugged in, and we were on
And
the
then
floor.
we're like, but and here and me like I'm freaking out. But guys, first episode, what are we going to talk about? Okay, well, let's just talk about what is a Caribbean millennial, right?
Yeah.
And like none of us want to go back and listen to episode
We
1,
recorded
right?
the episode, and then we were like, do we need an intro? So I quickly made Anushka sit down and record her saying, "You're listening to the Caribbean Millennials podcast,"
or whatever it
and
is.
we
whatever
picked
it
some
is.
free music.
Then we go on
That
Epidemic
Adani,
Sounds.
yeah, Adani had a free music subscription, so we were going through looking for anything that sounded kind of
any
Caribbean.
hints of like Caribbean. Throw that together. It was like, so here's the thing: someone listening,
It was organized chaos.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I was about to say.
basically.
Somebody say like, "You, it sound like chaos," but the thing is, we just needed that nudge because we knew what we needed to do. Because you
Mhm.
saw how quickly we remembered we needed an intro, and then we got an outro, and then we got stuff together. So it all worked out worked out in the end.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. And then that must have been end of May or June 2018, because I think we maybe launched the first week of June in 2018.
Yeah, we launched sometime in June.
I think it's June
if I
8th.
remember correctly.
That's the date.
Yeah.
But
Because the thing is, at the time we're launching a podcast, me and Anushka are also planning our wedding,
it's literally like 6 weeks out to our wedding in St. Lucia.
and we're launching a podcast.
And we live in Texas, so it's essentially a destination, but not destination.
Yeah, so we
wedding.
planning a wedding from Texas that's supposed to take place in St. Lucia
In a few weeks,
in
and
a
we
few
launch a
weeks.
podcast.
We're launching a podcast. Adani's dealing
While
with
measuring
moving.
suits.
Yeah, while measuring
Yeah,
suits.
yeah.
Adani is dealing with making sure they move his stuff correctly, and that's when you found out they broke into the container and stole computers.
And a server,
And a server, all that.
cameras, all
Yeah.
bunch of stuff. Yeah.
And at that time, I'm also doing grad school,
Mhm.
so I'm dealing with assignments and projects and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So we had like a ton of stuff going on. For
I mean,
some
just
reason,
even with a wedding, like getting your dress, getting like
Yeah.
all of the things,
we
you
had
know,
to figure out how
staying
we
on
get
top
in
of
the
your
suits.
workouts. The three of us were going to the gym together.
Yeah. We have to figure out how we get in the suits to people in St. Lucia, and then for some reason we get this bright idea to launch a podcast
In the middle
midst
of all of
this.
According to somebody, how Caribbean millennial of
Yeah,
Very much so. Very much so.
it's like
like, yeah, we can do this.
On top of
Whatever.
all of
Yeah,
this,
of course.
afraid of podcast in the mix, man. Why not?
So I remember Vernon uploaded the episode the night before, and the morning I wake up and
No, it wasn't the night before. I uploaded the episode
that's
at like 1:30, 2 o'clock
in the morning. Yeah.
because I was sitting down trying to remember, guys. I don't know anything about sound engineering and sound
At this point in time.
at this point in time. So I'm Googling, watching YouTube, trying to learn all things. Because I listened back and then I could hear the AC in our apartment.
Oh,
I could hear
yeah.
the ice maker in the back.
In the fridge, yes.
The washing machine.
So I'm
The
like,
washing machine wasn't going on though.
no, I think it was.
Really?
There was one that
Yes.
is there.
No, it was.
I remember we were discussing that.
So I'm like, yo, how do I get this off of here? So I'm online and I'm looking, yo, how do I take out sound in the back end?
It was very much like a learn as you go experience for all of
It's
us.
still a learn as you go experience because I can tell right now I'm not a master of this. I'm trying my best. Like to this day, I still try to go online and try and get tips and little tricks and just try anything I can do to try and make it better, to be honest.
Mhm.
And this is me saying, like, if anybody listening is like a sound engineer and they want to give me some tips, teach me something, offer me some help, I'm so open. Like, y'all don't understand because I just want to put out the best product for the listeners. Like, I don't want anyone
Amen.
to believe we're not listening when y'all say, "Oh, you Anushka was sounding soft and Vinny was loud or Danny soft." Like, I hear it and I constantly always trying, to make sure I can fix it or make it as consistent as possible. Some days I make progress. Sometimes I don't. You know,
It's a balancing act.
I try.
Mhm.
But yeah, we launched a podcast
Yeah.
before wedding.
And then I guess the morning of, I woke up to post on social media and share what we did. And then I was like, oh, like, should we do a press release or something like that?
Yeah,
Like,
I roll over in my bed, looking for this girl, and she's gone. I'm like, Anushka, where are you? Oh, I'm in the dining. I'm at the dining room table writing a press release. I'm like, you're writing a press release? Excuse me? I'm like, what we were just posted on Instagram and Twitter. She's like, oh, I think we need to send out a press release to media places and whatnot. I'm like, all right,
So
dog,
then-
do what you're doing. I just roll back over. And go,
and this was before I had to go to work, right? Like sit in traffic, whatever,
Yeah.
right?
So I think you were doing that like 5 or almost. It was
early.
It was early, very early.
So I did it and I sent it to all the St. Lucian newspapers, like 3 St. Lucians launch a podcast for Caribbean millennials or something like that. And no idea like if anyone would pick it up, but some newspapers did. So that that ended up pushing us out even further and helping like build the audience up front, right? Because we shared it to our close friends, but there are other people who knew us that were interested, and people who didn't know us that would be interested. Okay, so guys, what has been the most challenging aspect of podcasting?
I don't know. Who wants to go first? Or you want to go first?
For me, I would say keeping the content interesting and fresh over 100 episodes, right?
Yeah. I can see how it would be easy to talk about the same
thing over and over. And I guess it's for me also listening and knowing how you guys would respond to things, because I mean there are many weeks that you guys are surprised with what the content
I like the surprises
would be.
Because I don't plan, I just show up to the podcast and I tell them surprise me with the topic. Unless it's the topic I pick.
Yeah.
I like the little surprises, gives the genuine reaction.
And then getting good guests that kind of align with the message and
authenticity.
Exactly, authenticity. Because I think that realness and relatability is what we always want to keep. And I know that's what a lot of you guys listening enjoy, right?
Yeah.
So just kind of maintaining, finding interesting topics, but maintaining true to what it is that we've created.
For me, I would say the toughest thing, and I mean, I think I've said that. I just said that a while ago. It's just editing and handling the sound stuff. Like, I listen to a lot of podcasts, so I hear how other people's sound is, and I know in our defense, and it's not making an excuse, but in our defense, a lot of these people recording like professional studios and whatnot, and
it's just one of them. That's our biggest,
right?
That's our biggest challenge.
Well, it's not only just that it's 3 of us. It's 3 of us, and we also have location as a factor.
Yeah.
Being that we're in Texas, Adani.
Vernon and I are in the same room, which has its own challenges, right?
Because I can't sit too close to her because then you pick me up on her mic or vice versa, But I know these people record in professional rooms or they have high tech equipment and whatnot. But for me, it's just I try to give the best we can with what we have.
Well, and that's the thing, right? The podcast, doesn't make any money or anything. Everything is just our own personal investment and resources in terms of money and time.
I spent upwards of $500-$700 last year buying audio interface and a microphone and mic stand and headsets
with
and all
every penny.
Yeah, he buy all them things so he can make it sound better and whatnot. And I mean, he have more control over his sound. And even I did the same thing. I mean, me and Anushka were recording on one mic. It was literally the 2 of us on one mic. The mic was in between the 2 of us, and we would talk into the mic. And now, we buy audio interface, we buy separate mics, mic stands, and just.
Well, I mean, even certain things that people don't take into account, right? The podcast hosting, the like cost of the domains and hosting, right?
Yeah,
Even if we need to
hosting,
work on our
and then
website
when
and
I
all
have
of that.
to, I see my time, I sit down and have to go through and edit. Like, it's not just record and put it out. I have to sit down, I have to, go through and make sure if I hear any mad noises, like
Mhm.
if at that point in time our AC decide to come on really loud in our house, which it hasn't, thank God. But I try and take out as much as I can from there without affecting the overall quality of the track and whatnot. So
Danny, what do you think has been the
Oh,
most?
wait.
Oh,
oh yeah, and fighting Anushka to keep her head still in the microphone. Major,
Wow.
like no. When people say Anushka sounding soft and whatnot, you need to understand it's not because the volume is soft. Right now, Anushka's gain is higher than mine, so that means she should be sounding louder than me. But your girl, for
because
some
I am
reason,
louder than you, Vernon. Ha ha ha.
your
ha.
girl, for some reason, cannot sit still. She have to left, right, back and forth, up and down, bob and weave with the microphone.
I just have so much energy coursing through my veins.
Or
Float like a
sometimes-
butterfly, sting like a bee.
Or sometimes, like, I will look and Anushka is talking and her head is turned away from the microphone completely. Her mouth, like, she's talking in the direction, the mic pointing in the direction. I'm like, really, bro? Like, how you expect the mic to pick that up? So, yeah, it's a learning process for us because we trying to, develop the habits that these people, these
Mhm.
podcasters have of, talking to the microphone and
Mhm,
whatnot.
mhm.
So,
Adani, what's been the most challenging part for you?
I think for me, the most challenging part has been time and time management. We went from hosting the podcast in all of us in the same room at the same time. So we just would find the time in the day to then I moved over to Portland, Oregon. And then I was a couple of hours behind. And, we still managed to find time here and there. And then I did a complete 4 or 5 hour shift from Portland to St. Lucia. So, and now I'm in a house where I can't control as many of the variables as I could in Portland when I had my own place.
true.
Yeah, to find the time, and then a lot of times it's so easy to just say, yeah, well, I guess no episode this week. We'll switch to the next week, and but yeah, the time management and time is the hardest part, especially when you live in the Caribbean and no one really trans anything. Everything is just a vibe. Yeah, what's the vibe this afternoon? And it's like like pre-pandemic right now, somebody be messaging me, yo, coming up the road to Pigeon Point, man.
we
have
on
a
the beach.
vibe there tonight.
We're on the beach with barbecuing,
Last Sunday in the month, let's roll. Like, like hold the cooler. Like, like it's very organic, just like the podcast. But that's the hardest part so far. Has been just the time management and finding the time, and then
yeah.
But it's getting easier now that it's more established.
Danny said something that there are times like managing the time we just end up saying like, yeah, no podcast episode. You have no idea how many times that has happened. And then sometimes like we say no podcast episode and then we end up recording still. Like I remember a couple Sundays ago, like we were like, I don't know, like is there anything we talk about, or like I don't know, like I have other things doing right now. I don't know when we can get around to record. And then me and Anushka were in the house talking, and I was like, yo, it's crazy what's going on, with this and that and whatever. And then after saying that, I was like, fuck, we have to record. We actually have stuff to talk about. So like we quickly messaged Danny like, yo, you available? Like you can record it right now? And he's like, yeah. So we hopped on and recorded an episode.
What would you guys say has been the easiest or your favorite part?
Just talking with y'all.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
It's my best friend and my wife. Like
aren't you so lucky?
Sure, yes, put it that way, and it is true. But that's the two people I can talk to easiest with. I talk to these people on a regular. We share. We have good conversations. So I think like that makes it very easy for us to get on here. And I mean, if we were not trying to keep this at a time limit, I can see us talking for 2-3 hours going,
There's certainly some episodes that we could go on forever.
yeah.
Well, I also feel like our our WhatsApp group, like the three of us WhatsApp group, used to be popping a lot more, and then we started the podcast.
Yeah, so it's like now we save everything we want to talk about for the podcast. Like we just shop like you, like this, that, you see this happen, and you know.
Mm-hmm. I would say the same thing, just our organic, like like how we
Very
mesh
organic.
and vibe, like it's just easy and fun, and I guess just the opportunity to share it with other people, because even part of starting the podcast was I want to be able to share the conversations I'm having with my friends, because I know there are other people thinking this way or having these types of conversations too. So let's all do it together.
Let's do it together. Or let's at least let them know they're not the only ones thinking that
Exactly. And Annie, anything?
And it came together. It's coming together for 100 episodes now, and I think we can only improve going forward.
Oh
yeah. Without a doubt.
With that said, what is your favorite episode and why?
Social Dilemma. I like that conversation we were having about, how social media is affecting people and how they're using social media, to control people, I guess, for lack of better words. Social Dilemma and the Trip Down Memory Lane episode. The one where we were just sitting there reminiscing on, things we did when we were younger, or the way things used to be when we were younger. And, I say that, and I remember that conversation we had with our friends we went to lunch with yesterday, and they said something, and it's something Adani has said, and even you have said, that I think our generation is like the most fortunate, because we grew up in a time where we got to see life without technology. We experienced life without all these like camera phones and social media and whatnot, but we also were the first to have those things, the social media. So we've seen the best of both worlds, in my opinion. So I think like that Trip Down Memory Lane, that's why it's one of the one of my favorites, because we got to reminisce on the fact that we've had the best of both worlds. We know life with and without. So yeah. Adani, what's your favorite episode?
I think one of my favorite episodes, it'll be the second favorite, was the Porn Horn and Scorn live on IG that we did. That was just
like
really fun.
4 or 5.
Yeah, really
like
fun, really interactive.
That's the wild thing for me. Like we did that on like episode 5 or 6. Well, yeah, it was episode 5.
And then we never did it again until this
episode 100. Yeah, so 95 episodes later. That was really fun. But my absolute favorite one was the folklore episode. That's because I love doing the research about the Laja Bless and the Sukuya and the Kokma and the Tibolom, and all those other things. Was just fun to do the research and fun to talk about it. And till to this day, I get people like asking me about it and whenever people talk about stuff like that, I send them to that episode. And it's like, it's really, because Caribbean folklore is something that I think doesn't get enough attention,
right?
But it's something that we all grew up around. But like surprisingly, like video or comic book or like interactive media wise, there's not a lot on it, right? So I think a TV show about a Tibolom challenge would be really fun. If like different people giving the Tibolom different things to do to see what would work best. Yeah. Send the Tibolom in a river with a shopping cart and tell it fill it up with water.
Like, no, you say that jokingly, but like honestly, if I could draw something, I would make a comic about something like that. Like,
so if anyone wants to work with us and you have a background in film or animation or something,
or you're an artist, you draw, like
DM us.
Yeah, we have
so many ideas.
Millions of ideas,
Yeah. So I think it's easy for us to be like lighthearted and fun and whatnot. So my favorite episodes are actually the hard, difficult conversations to have ones, right?
We have difficult conversations. Really?
Yeah, like I mean the episode about both right?
Oh, yeah,
Justice
yeah,
for both
yes.
the episode about Black Lives Matter, the episode about like men do better, and even like body positivity.
Yes.
Like those episodes really challenge us to speak about something that's like passionate and hurtful almost, right?
At the same time, yeah,
but it
yeah.
you know, like I enjoy those of having necessary conversations, right? Those are some of my favorite episodes. Somebody asked, what topics would you not cover? And I feel like we'd cover anything, right? If there's something that we feel uncomfortable doing, which we haven't yet, that's where we may lean on a guest to kind of help guide and bring that their kind of expertise into it.
Even if there is something I feel uncomfortable talking about, I think I can still talk about it in a way that makes the comfort level, a bit better. And
I think even if it's an uncomfortable conversation or uncomfortable topic, we have the comfort of it being with the three of us, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a safe space too.
Safe space,
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it may not feel like it when I say when I was younger, I ate 3 ham and cheese, and then the guys call me ham and cheese for the next, weeks. However,
hey, you know what you did.
Okay. Who are our dream guests?
Harmony Kweso.
Wow. Is that what you were Googling? Because I heard your keyboard.
Just had to give you the Spanish translation, just so everybody wants to know.
Just to help you out,
Yeah, Harmony Kweso. Welcome.
We might have to change the logo. Mango, a pineapple, and a ham and cheese.
Wow.
A mango, coconut.
We put in a local bread for you, though.
What to do, Vernon? Make the pineapple have a ham and cheese in its mouth.
Its hand.
Oh
my god. Yeah. So, who are our dream guests?
Vibes Cartel.
In jail or out of jail?
Both.
What would you'd ask his how he creates music?
Are you still recording in this bitch? Like, there's no way you had all this music pre-recorded. Like, don't give me that bullshit. You recorded. All right, let's be honest. I would also want to interview a corrupt politician. I know somebody be like, what? Like, yes. Like, I don't want to put I shouldn't say corrupt politician. Just any politician. I want to put them in the hot seat. And honestly, if I got that opportunity, like leading up to the episode, I would be putting it out there to get all our audience to send in all the questions they want answers to. Like, because that'll be the time for me to grill them and get all the answers to all the questions. And like, if they're trying to like dance around the questions, I would call them out like, yo, like, you're not answering the question straight, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's it for me. Like, I don't really, y'all know me. I just like chilling, talking, vibing. If anybody want to come on here and chat to us, as long as it's in keeping with our, authentic brand, I'm down. Y'all know I'm not big on people trying to come and like advertise. Like, if you come in here, you come in to talk about a topic and use your expertise,
not just promote,
not just promote yourself and whatnot. I feel like if you're talking on the topic and showing your expertise, that's in the promotion of yourself. Like, that shows people like, yo, that person know what they're talking about. Like, yeah, kind of thing. So yeah, Adani, who's your dream guest?
I think anyone doing anything progressive in terms of technology, agriculture, cannabis in the region, and then any of the like large stars that are maybe diaspora from the Caribbean. Rihanna, the guy from Black Panther, Umbaku. People like that, just
a Fenty sponsored episode.
Yeah, hey, why not? Why not? We at
Dream
100.
big, dream big.
We at 100.
You know,
By,
I would wear the fancy boxes, on the
Yeah.
podcast. Some
You know. If we can get Shensia, why not? Hey,
Come
Spice,
Yep.
Nyla Blackman, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
on. Anybody come and talk to us,
I guess in addition to those, I have some as well to add that I am in love with at Shan Budram. She like talks about sex and love and relationships and
We talk about sex.
yes.
I'm just messing with you. I listen to her stuff as well.
She's cool and she's Guyanese background and I feel like some female politicians as well, like Mia Motley. Mia Motley, Lisa Hanna, like these kind of women.
If we interviewed any of those people, I'm going to be honest with you, I retire from podcasting after that. I don't think how you want me to top that. Tell me how I go to top an interview.
But that's the thing. When you get that, you just keep going until you just like Oprah. And then you're like, okay, peace out. I'm only coming out for those $1 billion interview vibe.
Like if I interview those people, like the pressure is on now for me to keep interviewing that type.
No, because you make it already.
What? Like I would have so many questions. Okay, you all don't understand. Like you see Mia Motley, I think that lady is like so fucking progressive.
I love her.
And like doing like great things. And like I wish like other leaders in other islands would like follow what she's doing and whatnot. So like if I could like interview someone that like
you see how we pride authenticity, being real, being like you can relatability, that kind of thing. Like that's the thing I see in her as a politician, like how she speaks in her addresses. She speaks how we speak, right, on a daily basis, and I think that's so admirable.
Well, and another thing for me is that the fact that like for her it's like her people, her country, that's first, priority,
as it should be, right?
Like if it's a benefiting them, she want it, like so
yeah. So would you appear on other podcasts or collaborate with other podcasters?
Hell yes, 100%. We don't own this podcast space, and I believe they have enough room and enough airs out there and enough time in the day for people to listen to multiple podcasts. And I would gladly hop on someone's podcast to be a guest, or even if it's just helping them out starting their podcast. I would do it. Like I believe like we can work together. I introduce my audience to you, you introduce your audience to me. I help you out wherever I can. You help me out, like collaborate. Like they have enough time in the day and enough people out there to have multiple podcasts out there. That's just my stance on it. Yeah. I don't think I above anybody or anybody below me.
Yeah, and I mean on the podcast, one of our major themes and, missions, if you want to call it something like that, is Caribbean representation and increasing Caribbean representation, right?
Yes.
Be it in podcasting or sports or film or whatever, creating more space, taking up more space, right? Sharing our voices, sharing our stories, that kind of thing. So we're totally down to collaborate and work with other people, because that's pushing the movement. Like that's what we're aspiring to do. Like
and
take up space.
The podcast we collaborate with, that might be the one that blow up and make it big and put that the Caribbean on the map and whatnot. Like how I going to stop somebody if in the end it go help all of us? Like go through.
And like that's what we have to move past, right? Like being more collaboration focused than being competition focused, right?
I tell you, they have enough people in the world and enough ears to have multiple podcasts.
Yep.
For all I know, my podcast is not someone's type of food. That's what they say.
Someone said one person's yuck can be another person's yum.
Yeah, I know yucking anybody yum. Yeah. Yeah. It may not be your cup of tea, but you may like somebody else's podcast. So that don't mean I go to immediately knock the other person podcast because you don't like mine.
There's
like,
a
pick
reason
them
why
up,
there's ginger and lemongrass and bay leaf.
So everybody,
Have your cup of tea.
yeah, man.
Can you see yourself podcasting in your 40s?
Danny, can you see yourself podcasting in your 40s?
Hey, will I still be a Caribbean person? Yes. Will I still be a millennial? Yes. I can see it. I bet you there'll be certain things that will be affecting us 10 years from now that we will want to talk about, and even just like the process of maybe building a house, buying land locally, having kids, like, all these things will be experiences that we will have to go through as Caribbean millennials. So I don't see any age limit on it. It's just as long as we have the energy, the time, and the ability to, I don't see why not.
Yeah, man. I 100% agree with you on that one. But also for me, it's like, bruh, I just go in with the flow. All right. I don't have no plans. We started this podcasting, and that's something I think people need to understand. One of the main things for us, we didn't have no high expectations. We just wanted to put out something and share it with people. We did not come into this thinking, we're going to be famous and we make money off it and whatnot. If those things happen, sure, fine. But for now, I'm content with just putting on my podcast and sharing my thoughts and opinions with others and hearing other people's take, whether they oppose what I say or they agree with it. So if I hit 40 and I still podcasting, then props to me, kudos. If next week it ends, then we had a good run. Either way, I just ruin with the flow.
Yeah, and I mean we'll just do it until it doesn't, it feels like we need to stop. Or
give it our best.
Yeah. Why not YouTube?
Not YouTube because Danny is in San Joaquin, in Texas. Also, I don't like the idea of
sitting down and watching people talk for hours.
No.
Because you do it for.
I do it. I watch other people and whatnot. I don't know. I think if we had to do YouTube, it would be other content, other types of content. It wouldn't be the podcast us talking. Well, we would be talking, but I don't know.
Well, and to give you guys some background, once upon a time, Vunan and I had a YouTube channel.
Cringe.
And
super cringe.
We did it for some.
Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel.
Hey, but we were early issued the game. It was like 2016, right?
We were early on the welcome to my YouTube channel.
There are some St. Lucian YouTube influencers. We literally started the same week and we stopped and she continued, right? But it wasn't for us, right? Like we liked what we were saying, but we didn't like video.
And because you see, part of the thing is I don't know it's that for Anushka, but I know for me, I'm a very private type of person. I don't really like being on camera, video, taking pictures of myself, that kind of thing. So it just didn't sit well with me that I don't like doing that, but now I have to sit down in front of a camera and talk and then put that out there.
I think we preferred podcasting because we kind of have, I guess for Vernon, the veil of secrecy, but also for me, I guess the veil of like comfort where we can show up as we are on the couch, with my hair looking all kind of way,
Yeah.
And it's no pressure because it's not how we look, it's what we have to say and the message, right?
Like I can sit here podcasting and be on my phone and I don't have to look up to a camera and make eye contact with the camera. If you were doing that on video, you have to be making contact with the camera because I don't know. Honestly, we will probably do some type of content and video content for YouTube. I just don't think it will be the podcast.
Yeah, and it's definitely not going to be a vlog either. So
the whole 100% not a vlog. No one's doing that shit.
Well, and as you know, we mentioned earlier, like one of our big balance things is that we're in two different locations,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Unless we move home or Adani moves to Texas, which both of those things are probably highly unlikely. Like it's not gonna be like that kind of dynamic video with all three of us as you're probably used to. So, you know, maybe we'll do some videos here, Danny will do some videos there. We can get creative with it.
Yeah, maybe we might try and do a Zoom thing and record it. We will try something.
Yeah. And I think it's also just making more time for the brand, right, during our weeks in order to do stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, because we kind of just scrape by.
Yeah, we scrape by. We don't like. I can tell you, I know I don't do much promotion of the podcast on my social media, but part of that is I'm not very big on social media. You look at my Instagram, I don't really make posts like that. You look at my Twitter, maybe once in a while I may make a post, a little scattered post here, there, or maybe I just retweet something, but like that are my thing. So for me, and then also like a lot of times, like after a day of work, and you know, using my brain so much and whatnot, like sometimes like I don't feel like doing anything. I just want to like laze around and do nothing. I know people will be like, yo, like that's lazy. You have to, you know, put work in your podcast and whatnot. But sometimes, I genuinely tired. There have other times like during the day when I don't feel like doing work, Anushka don't feel like doing work, we talk about podcast stuff. We make plans for the podcast and, you know, we write stuff down and what. So it's a balancing act.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that step will require more out of us, right?
A lot more.
All right, last question. What is your plan / direction for the next 100 episodes? So I guess treat that as how do we want to change? What do we want to do differently to improve and grow? I guess maybe what are some of our goals?
Improve sound. Sound effects. Danny?
I would like to, I guess, improve what we talk about, and not really improve, but I guess just different aspects. Like because I was just talking to somebody about insurance, like insurance in the Caribbean. Like, why don't we talk about that?
Like life insurance?
All kinds, life, vehicle, medical, disaster, medical, health, you know, like maybe get an insurance expert on here and, you know, talk about that kind of thing, because we get into that, you know, point in life where insurance is important. And
Adani, you said that, and you know, I think that's a big part of it, and I agree with you on that. I feel maybe we need to start touching on the topics that
you go through in
life, because we grew up and nobody taught us about these things. Nobody tell us about, you're going to need life insurance and medical insurance, and you know, and we just have to learn as we go on those things. Or it's only when we get in a situation we end up asking somebody about it, and then maybe they're giving us a quick rundown. So maybe we need to start, you know, exploring these topics.
I think another piece of that is there are things that we could talk about with our friends that we all going through that we don't talk about, right? Like, and some of that stuff is that, right? Like, anything else?
I don't know. You tell me. What do you want for the podcast going through the next how many episodes? Hopefully we make it to another 100, you know.
One of my goals for this year, like my personal goals, is around the podcast, and it says connect with Caribbean millennials, right? So I feel like we've been doing the podcast and it's definitely hooked in some of you guys, but I'd like to connect more and really know who you guys are and
talk to our listeners.
Yeah, exactly. And just do more, right? Giveaways.
Yeah.
They're coming this week.
Much.
Yeah.
Giveaways, merch, get some
expand the brand.
Get some sponsorships. Like I feel like these past almost 3 years, we really focused on building the audience, and that was the biggest obstacle. I mean, that was one of the more daunting obstacles, just like building an audience, having people who actually want to listen to us, and thank you all, so much.
From the bottom of my heart, thank you for listening.
Yeah.
When I go to upload the episodes on a Sunday night and I see the downloads for the previous episode, or I see like our total downloads and whatnot, like I just be astounded. I'd be like, yo, that many people listen to our episode. We have that many listeners, that many downloads. Like, damn, like, okay.
Yeah.
I see us out here. Like, and I not by any stretch trying to make it seem like we the biggest thing ever or anything, but like we have a clear audience. We have some people who rocking with us. Like, they listening, So like I want these people feedback. Like I want these people to talk to us. Like for so many people have topics they want us to cover. Reach out, let us know, DM.
But
Twitter,
even like
anything,
like we don't bite. Like let's be friends.
Even if it's not even like that, you just want to chat. Like hey, hi, like yo.
Yeah, and I think maybe a Danny experiences it at least with the St. Lucian audience, and I do get DMs from time to time. But like, just to make it bigger, even if like I don't know if this is the name you all guys want, but who is the Caribbean Millennials Massive? Right? Like,
yeah,
and I guess not only just us connecting with you guys, but you guys connecting with each other, right?
Yeah.
Just to really like promote the movement, right? And just like support each other and grow together.
Things in your island, you'll even know somebody else going through the same thing, or they went through it and they figured out how to maneuver and get around it.
Or even just in these diaspora communities, right? Like if somebody in Toronto did something and somebody in Florida is trying to do the same thing, like just stuff like that. Just networking, making friends, making connections. That's deeper than a social media like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Because I mean that's how our parents and grandparents did it, right? Like they had people who were like their partners and stuff like that, that will pass just your friend group, right?
Well, my thing is like we have it a lot better than the previous generation in that like
we have more access.
We have more access. We have the internet. I can talk to somebody in China right now. We talk to our friend Deja all the way in
Hungary.
In Hungary. Like, so we be all over. We may be scattered, but we can still be connected. And I think like,
let's make the most of that, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. For sure.
It's kind of like, when you were younger and they had you sending letters to a pen pal or whatnot, right? But
to my pen pal, I never got a response from you.
Wow.
All right. I mean, that was our last question.
Yeah.
So
no, I think we covered all.
Oh, the last thing, we did Instagram live this weekend.
Yes.
And
did an Instagram live episode this well. We did an Instagram live.
Yeah.
We some of y'all showed up, and I appreciate everyone who showed up, all the people in the chat that was interacting, asking questions, giving feedback, even if you just stopped in and said hi, like thank you for coming. And honestly, we will be trying to do these Instagram lives more often,
because that's how we can connect with you guys, and it's fun, and it's an easy way to meet that goal of connecting with y'all and providing more content, providing video without being like super produced or anything. So we'll try to do those more.
We will. Anything else before we close off the episode, guys?
I love y'all. Thank you for pushing me.
Oh my God.
You are welcome.
Now I just need a Danny to like push me on my workouts and stuff because I get kind of chunky over here.
Oh, well then.
Oh, now that you've mentioned it, every morning now.
Oh my God. Well,
Have you worked
asked for
out?
it. You asked for it. There you go.
Wow, he said that, and my like heart started like racing. Like
I remember the instructor in Texas. You've got it. One more. Come on, put your back into it. She was small but so energetic. Oh my God.
Yeah, these two used to go to a barbell strength class. Like when I was at class for grad school, they would go to that together. So that was
because I like doing these classes, but I like somebody like being in pain with me, you know. And Vernon never wants to do it.
Well, the thing is, for me, I like working out. Like I like to just go put my
By
headphones
himself,
on and do my thing. Like, and you want to do something? That's what I consume. Like the most podcast stuff. Like I'm listening to a podcast and I'm working out. I'm trying not to laugh and drop something on my neck and kill me. But hey, it's a good time.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. So yeah, guys, it has been another episode of the Caribbean Millennials podcast. We're out.